Now, let's get to the touch screen and get our facts out. So this evening, as news just broke, and you've seen it on many of the portals, that Ken Ofori-Atta, the gentleman in the center here, who has been finance minister for Ghana for 7 years, from 2017 to, I believe, 2022, and who was heavily criticized by the NDC, and who at some point had MPP members of parliament indicating to President Akufo-Addo to change him. Eventually, the president changed him for Mohamed Amin Anta. But Ken Ofori-Atta's house tonight has been raided, not by police, but by soldiers. Information reaching Good Evening Ghana indicates that the raid on Ken Ofori-Atta's house earlier this evening, Tuesday, what's today's date again? Tuesday, 10th February, was Tuesday, 11th February, was carried out by soldiers. Okay, let me say the sentence again, so that the prompter that I'm reading from is clear. And timer, please take it from here. Information reaching Good Evening Ghana suggests that the raid that has occurred at Ken Ofori-Atta's house earlier this evening, Tuesday, 11th February, was not conducted by police officers. It was conducted by military officers. Now, they don't know that somebody on the top of the building next door was filming, and that video has been made available to us. So was filming how they entered, and then the video remained until they came out. What happened inside, the video couldn't capture because the person was on the building. The soldiers, those of you went there, you will see that to your left, there was a story building there. A very prominent person lives there, and she was concerned about what was happening, so she filmed it, and she sent it to us. So the video indicates soldiers, numbering about 15 of them. One of them is half camera, so we really couldn't check. But at least there are more than 10, numbering about 15 military soldiers, not police. They raided Ken Ofori-Atta's house at Cantonment earlier today. Now, everybody was pointing to Dr. Kufu Dampare. It's not about Dampare. It's not Dampare. Apparently, the Honorable Kisi Ajabin is responsible for this. And we don't know why. Kisi Ajabin is responsible for the raid on Ken Ofori-Atta's house this evening. Now, why are we saying this? Because we have now also seen letters that have been written from Kisi Ajabin to Ken Ofori-Atta, asking for Ken Ofori-Atta to be questioned on issues relating to SML contracts. Viewers, remember that, the famous or infamous SML contract. So Kisi Ajabin has written to Ofori-Atta, asking him to answer questions on the SML contract. I'm not so sure who asked him to do that, but the OSP can have a mandate originating from his table. He can originate a mandate based on the broad mandate that he has. He can originate a mandate and say that I'm coming to ask you questions. He can do that. So in exercise of that authority, Kisi Ajabin, the special prosecutor, wrote to Ken Ofori-Atta. Lawyers for Ofori-Atta responded to Kisi Ajabin indicating that the witness was not in town. Ken Ofori-Atta was not in town. He's in America on health grounds, and that they are able to answer questions on his behalf so long as he can produce the questions. Lawyers also promised that as soon as Ofori-Atta arrives in Ghana, they will submit him to the office of the special prosecutor. As far as the lawyers were concerned, this was the conclusion of the matter. Now, they were told today that their client's house has been raided by soldiers. Quickly, calls went to the police IGP, asking Dr. Dampare, what is all this about? Dr. Dampare is thinking about himself, and that's what he told them, that I have not sent anybody to raid anywhere. The people who went there were soldiers. I don't have control over soldiers. I just have control over police. So the military, and this is the, so I don't know whether the defense minister, Dr. Mani-Boama, is aware, but please tell Dr. Mani-Boama that I was mentioning his name. He's the Minister for Defense. And his soldiers, numbering over 10 of them, under the instructions of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, as widely believed, raided Ofori-Atta's house today. Military, not police, military. They raided Ofori-Atta's house today, 3-4 hours ago. The story is on City FM. Let's get a glimpse of how Channel 1 and City FM put the story out, and then we take it from there. Do we have it? It's a very short story, though, because it's still running. Ken Ofori-Atta's home raided by individuals in military uniform. A group of individuals in military uniforms raided the residence of former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta on Tuesday afternoon. The incident took place in Cantonment while Ofori-Atta was reportedly out of the country. However, some family members, including his wife, were present at the time. The motive behind the raid remains unclear. Channel 1 news sources confirm that multiple uniformed individuals entered the premises, but it is yet to determine whether anything was taken. Authorities have not issued an official statement on the incident. Now, we know that from the videos that were made available, when the soldiers were coming out, they were not holding anything that they didn't have when they were entering. And we checked that to be sure whether something was taken out, because we had already read the story before this lady sent us the video. So if you look at it, the way the soldiers entered, it looks like that's the same way they came out. So they didn't take anything. The question then is mandates, authority, warrants, all of those things come into play, because when the police are coming to your house to search you, let me have the photograph of the three of them again. When the police are coming to your house to search you, they would normally have a warrant. And in the police context, an individual high court judge can so moto, as they say in law, it means by himself, can so moto issue a warrant for your arrest. A high court judge can so moto and ex parte issue a warrant. Ex parte means they don't have to call you and come to the court. So moto means by himself. He doesn't need a motion. He can just do it upon his own motion when he's told that this person needs to be searched. So the police will normally do that. I believe that even under the rules, I think so, I stand to be corrected, that the Inspector General of Police can issue a warrant. I think so. The Inspector General of Police can issue a warrant, but the CDS cannot issue a warrant. The Chief of Defense Staff cannot issue a warrant over a civilian that they should go and search him. The Inspector General of Police can. So if the Chief of Defense Staff wants to search you with the soldiers, he has to go through the Inspector General of Police. But here's Kisi Ajabe, who walks around with soldiers protecting him. And I'm guessing that he sends soldiers to Ken Ofori-Atta's house to go and search him. There's a lot more on this story coming up on Thursday. So much more is going to come up on Thursday. Here's the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta and his wife, Angela. Honorable Ken, don't worry. We know that you have not done anything wrong. Sometimes you become finance minister, and in your quest to do things, some things can go wrong. Everybody is blaming you about DEP, debt exchange program, collapse of banking, and all that. But in due time, I'm sure posterity will see what you did, if you did something good, and I'm sure that you did something good. So that's Ken Ofori-Atta. Say a prayer for him tonight, because he's under Kisi Ajabe's radar. Here is Ken Ofori-Atta and the learned Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. I'm not sure when this photograph was taken, but this is the Archbishop who I'm going to talk about tonight, because he had a stupendous prayer session in Parliament today. And I'm going to talk about what the Archbishop told the MPs when he was praying for them. That's coming up. So that's the Archbishop, that's Ken Ofori-Atta, and that is Angela Ofori-Atta in an old photograph. Pray for Ken. Papa, you got to pray for Ken, you got to pray for your man, because he's under Kisi Ajabe's radar. And Papa, this Kisi Ajabe guy has soldiers around him. And even though he was looking for Ken to answer questions, he was told by Ken's lawyers that Ken is not there. Papa, you know what he did? He sent soldiers to Ken's house. Papa, you got to pray for him. You got to pray for Ken Ofori-Atta right now. And all Ghanaians got to pray for Ken Ofori-Atta right now. Okay.